You don't watch history. You become it. Today you are Winston Churchill, the man who refused to surrender. But you are not Britain's hero, not yet. You are a political failure, a man blamed for disaster, a man many believe is finished, a man whose best days should already be behind him, before the statues, before the speeches, before the cigar becomes a symbol of defiance. You are not the man Britain trusts. You are the man Britain doubts, and that is what makes your story dangerous. Because when the darkest hour comes, the man everyone tried to bury becomes the only one willing to say no. You are born into privilege, but privilege does not make you safe from failure. You grow up with a famous name, a powerful family, and the heavy shadow of expectation. Your father is brilliant, cold, and distant. Your mother is glamorous, admired, and often far away. You are surrounded by status, but not always by tenderness. So from the beginning, you learn to perform. You learn to make noise. You learn that if attention is not given, it must be taken. You are not the quiet boy who waits for permission. You want greatness before you have earned it. You want history to notice you. And for much of your early life, you chase it recklessly. You go to war as a young man, but not only to serve. You go because war is where reputations can be made quickly. You seek danger, write about it, escape from it, and turn experience into ambition. You are brave, but your bravery is never entirely clean. It is mixed with hunger. Hunger for glory. Hunger for recognition. Hunger to become more than the disappointing son of a disappointed father. You enter politics with the confidence of a man who believes his destiny is obvious. But destiny does not move in a straight line. You switch parties. You make enemies. You speak too boldly. You annoy people who prefer quiet obedience. Some admire your energy. Others think you are unstable, selfish, impossible to control. They are not entirely wrong. You are brilliant, but exhausting. Courageous, but reckless. Visionary, but often convinced that vision alone should excuse everything. Then comes the disaster that almost destroys you. Gallipoli. A plan meant to break the war open. A bold stroke. A way to attack the enemy from a different direction and change the course of history. You believe in it. You push for it. You defend it. Then it becomes mud, blood, confusion, failure, and death. Men die on distant shores. Families grieve. Newspapers rage. Politicians search for someone to blame. And your name is there. Churchill. Ambitious Churchill. Reckless Churchill. The man whose grand idea led to catastrophe. You lose office. You lose trust. You lose the future you thought was waiting for you. For many men, this would be the end. For you, it becomes a wound that never fully closes. You go to the front. You serve. You try to prove you are not merely a man of words and errors. But the stain remains. For years, Gallipoli follows you like a shadow. Whenever you rise, someone remembers. Whenever you speak, someone doubts. Whenever you warn, someone asks whether this is just Churchill being dramatic again. And later, when Europe begins to darken, that doubt matters, because you see the danger early. You watch Germany change. You watch Hitler rise. You watch speeches become mobs. Mobs become policy. Policy become violence. You see rearmament. You see ambition. You see the shape of another war forming while many in Britain desperately look away. They do not want another war. No one does. The last one took too much. Too many sons. Too many bodies. Too much faith in old empires and easy honor. So when you warn them, they hear not prophecy but noise. They call you alarmist. They call you outdated. They call you bitter. They call you a man trapped in the last war, unable to understand the new peace. But you understand something they do not want to say aloud. Peace without strength can become an invitation. Compromise with a man who only understands conquest can become surrender with better manners. You speak, and often. The room does not want to listen. That is one of the loneliest parts of your life. To see a storm coming while others praise the weather. You are not always right in life. You have been wrong before. You have failed before. That is what makes the warning harder to carry. Your enemies do not need to invent your flaws. You have given them evidence. So Britain waits, Europe waits, and Hitler moves. Austria falls into his hands. Czechoslovakia is sacrificed in the name of peace. Promises are made, papers are waved, Leaders return home claiming the crisis has passed. But you know paper cannot stop tanks. Then Poland is invaded. The illusion finally breaks. Britain is at war again. At first you are brought back into government, but not yet as the man in charge. The country is still uncertain. Old leaders still believe the storm can be managed. Then the war turns worse, faster than anyone wants to admit. Norway collapses into failure. France begins to fall. The old confidence dies, and suddenly the man who had been mocked for warning too loudly is the man the nation needs to hear. You become prime minister in 1940, not in triumph, in crisis. You do not inherit a confident empire marching toward victory. You inherit fear, confusion, retreat, and the possibility of national collapse. The German army is tearing through Europe. France, Britain's great ally, is breaking. British troops are trapped at Dunkirk. The sea becomes the last line between survival and disaster. This is not a heroic painting. It is panic with uniforms. If the army is lost, Britain may lose the war before it truly begins. Small boats cross the channel. Soldiers wait under attack. The beaches are chaos. Men look toward the water, not knowing if rescue will come. Somehow many return, but survival is not victory. Dunkirk saves an army, but it also reveals the truth. Britain is alone. France falls. Europe is under Nazi shadow, and now, inside your own government, the question becomes unbearable. Should Britain negotiate? Should Britain seek terms? Should Britain survive by bending? There are serious men who believe this may be the practical path. They are not all cowards. Some are terrified realists. They see the empire at risk, the cities vulnerable, the army weakened, the United States not yet in the war, and the Soviet Union still bound by its own pact with Germany. They ask, what is the cost of continuing? You ask a different question. What is the cost of surrender? Because you understand that some defeats do not end when the shooting stops. Some defeats enter the soul of a nation. Some compromises save buildings but destroy the thing those buildings were meant to protect. So you say no. Not because victory is certain. It is not. Not because Britain is strong enough. It may not be. Not because you know exactly how this ends. You do not. You say no because if Britain stops resisting, the last great barrier in Europe may fall. You say no because someone must prove Hitler can be defied. You say no because a country sometimes survives first in language before it survives in battle. And language becomes your weapon. You speak to Parliament. You speak to the public. You do not promise easy victory. You do not hide the cost. You give the people hardship, danger, sacrifice, and endurance. You turn fear into rhythm. You turn defiance into sentences ordinary people can carry into shelters, factories, ships, and airfields. You do not make Britain safe. You make Britain unwilling to kneel. Then the bombs come. The Blitz turns the night sky into fire. London burns. Sirens scream. Families sleep underground. Streets vanish. Churches, homes, shops, and memories become rubble. Children learn the sound of engines before they understand politics. Workers wake after nights of bombing and return to work because the country cannot stop moving. You walk through ruins. People look at you with ash on their faces and grief in their eyes. Some cheer. Some cry. Some simply stare, exhausted beyond words. And you must be more than a man. You must be the face that says Britain is still standing, but symbols are heavy. The cigar, the hat, the voice, the stubborn posture. These become armor. The country needs you to be certain even when certainty is impossible. It needs you to embody courage even when you are tired, angry, depressed, and afraid. Because yes, you know fear. Only fools do not. The difference is that you refuse to let fear become policy. The Battle of Britain begins in the sky. Young pilots rise again and again to meet German aircraft. The future of the island depends on machines, radar, training, luck, and boys who age years in a single afternoon. You watch the air war knowing that if the skies are lost, invasion may follow. But the skies hold. Not easily, not cheaply, but they hold. Britain survives the first great test. Still, survival is not enough. You need allies. You look across the Atlantic toward America. Speaking to a country not yet ready to enter the war, you build a relationship with Roosevelt through messages, pressure, charm, and necessity. You need ships, weapons, supplies, faith. You need time. Time is the thing Britain is buying with courage. Then Hitler turns east and invades the Soviet Union. Then Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. the war becomes truly global. America enters. The balance begins to shift, but even then, victory is not simple. The war stretches across deserts, oceans, cities, and graves. You are no longer alone, but you are not in control of everything either. That is another lesson power teaches you. Even great leaders ride forces larger than themselves. You sit in conferences with Roosevelt and Stalin, men with their own goals, their own maps, their own visions of the world after war. You are necessary, but Britain is not as dominant as it once was. The empire you love is aging. The world is changing. Even as you fight to save civilization from Hitler, the old order you represent is beginning to crack. That is part of your contradiction. You defend freedom against tyranny, but you also defend an empire. You inspire democracy, but you are not free from the prejudices and assumptions of your age. You can be heroic and flawed in the same breath. That is why your story is not simple. The war reaches its final chapters. Normandy, liberation, Germany collapsing, camps discovered, cities destroyed, millions dead. The evil you resisted is finally exposed in its full horror, and the world can no longer pretend this was only another war between states. You were right to resist. That does not make every choice right, but it makes the refusal matter. Then victory comes. Europe celebrates. Hitler is dead. Nazi Germany surrenders. Britain has survived. The island that was supposed to break did not break. This should be your greatest moment, but democracy has its own brutal honesty. In 1945, the people vote, and they remove you from office. The man who helped carry Britain through war is not the man they choose to build the peace. Imagine that. You gave them defiance when they needed defiance, but now they want housing, welfare, rebuilding, a different future. They're grateful perhaps, but gratitude is not the same as a vote. The war leader becomes too heavy for peace. You are stunned, hurt, angry, but history is rarely polite to those who serve it. You return later, but the central legend has already been formed. Churchill, the voice in the dark. Churchill, the man who said no. Churchill, the bulldog. Churchill, the symbol of national defiance. But the real man is more complicated. You are not only courage, you are ambition, ego, language, failure, depression, appetite, empire, brilliance, stubbornness, and contradiction. You are the man who warned too early because he had once failed too loudly. The man who understood words because he needed them to survive himself. The man who refused surrender, yet could not stop the world he loved from changing. And that is why your story still matters. Not because you were perfect. You were not. Not because you always chose wisely. You did not. But because when the most important question of your life arrived, you answered it without bending. Should Britain surrender? No. Should tyranny be negotiated with as if it were normal politics? No. Should fear decide the future? No. So now the question belongs to you. Was Churchill the man who saved Britain? Or a flawed imperial figure turned into a convenient legend? Was he great because he saw the danger clearly? Or because he gave people the words they needed when courage was almost gone? And if you had stood in 1940, with Europe falling and Britain alone, would you have fought on? Comment below. Because history is not only made by those who win, sometimes it is made by those who refuse to surrender before winning even seems possible. And remember, you don't watch history, you become it. Today, you were Winston Churchill,